Hey everybody, this is Spencer with the Itch Network, and today we're doing an early impressions of Let's Go Pikachu, the newest Pokemon game. Promised myself I would do it on that side. It's essentially a remake of Pokemon Yellow on the Game Boy Color, and I got the special edition box. So it's this big box right here, and it came with the game, and then this adorable Pokeball controller, and that was $100. Early review, I'd probably say it's not worth it. Probably just get the base game unless you really care. But I wanted to test it because I was bored. So this is kind of a weird integration of Pokemon Go and Pokemon Yellow. I don't play Pokemon Go. My friend Eric plays that, and he seems to really like it. This is definitely an extension of that style, and I'll get into more of that in a second. But the game feels really solid. It feels like a remake of Pokemon Yellow, which everybody really liked, and it kind of translates the original Game Boy Pokemons into this crazy cool graphical bright style that's faithful to the original but still offers a lot of new twists. The main thing is that Pikachu looks really cool and you can dress him up in different costumes, which so far I've only dressed him up like me, which I look like Ash Ketchum. But in a weird twist, I think this is set in the future of that, because you do run into Gary, but Gary, well, technically his name is Blue, but he says that he knows Red. Well, no. He says he was already a master, and he's kind of looking after you later. So it's like all the adventures of Red and Blue happened a long time ago, and now you're kind of after that. But that happens later. I don't know if that's an important detail, but just something that happened when I was in Pewter City. I've played about 2 hours, a little bit over, and I'm now in Cerulean City. Just beat Misty. I'm not going to worry about spoilers because the game is so old. But so yeah, I'm just gonna come out with it. That's where I am. If you know where that is, then congrats. If you don't, then you should play a Pokemon game every once in a while. The gameplay of this game is a lot different, and this is what's definitely gonna alienate some people, and kind of alienated me until I found out there was battling. I didn't think there was any battling going in. I didn't do a whole lot of research once I heard the news that it was gonna kind of be like a Go integration with the Pokemon games. So that really turned me off at first, but yeah, I did a little bit of research, and there is battling, but only between trainers. So you can, every time you run into a trainer and you make eye contact, or really they just look at you, then you get into a battle. Almost all the trainers I've fought only have one Pokemon. So I don't know what's up with that. I kind of want longer battles. I like the battling in Pokemon. That's why I get into them. I'm actually not a big collector guy myself. I'll get into that in a second. But yeah, the battles are really short and really, really easy. You're pretty much scaled way ahead of them at all times, except for a couple sets. There's coaches who are basically your level, and then there's the gym leaders. So you got so far Brock and Misty. Let's see, next up is the Tenda Surge, and then Erica. Erica is Celadon. Ooh. And Saffron is Sabrina. Koga is Fuchsia. It's been a minute, but there's more boss battles, gym leaders ahead. So we'll get to them later. Combat is just as you remember it. There is duos. I have fought Team Rocket, and you fight them in duo combat, so I'm curious to see where that goes later in the game. I'm excited on that one. And then there's... well, that's it. It really scales back a lot of the combat to more Generation 1, except for the duo stuff. There's really not a whole lot of the newer stuff in it. Like terrain, that doesn't play a role in it, at least so far. You can't equip Pokemon with anything, and Pokemon don't have little characteristics, which being from the old class, I'm okay with, but maybe if you're like a fan of the newer stuff, that's gonna be like super simplified, maybe too much, I don't know. But it's definitely different than the newer Pokemon games in that it's older. Now, the other side of it that really changes, and that I think is the polarizing part, is that when you meet Pokemon in the wild, you don't fight them ever. In fact, the only fighting is done trainer to trainer. When you want to catch a Pokemon, you just see them, and like in the Pokemon Go games on the mobile, you just throw it at them. And with this guy, you just throw it. Seems pretty simple. You do gain experience. All your Pokemon get experience when you catch one, but it kind of loses the drive to catch a whole bunch of Pokemon. If, like, it doesn't ruin the drive of finding all of them, but it ruins the drive of trying to catch multiple ones if you've already caught it. Because sometimes, especially later, they get to be kind of a hassle to catch, and they use resources. So why would I use all these resources to catch a Pokemon that slightly improves or increases experience? Maybe that'll change later, but that's kind of how I've looked at it so far. So far, I've been pretty much in line, even though you don't really have that grindy combat of fighting wild Pokemon. I've pretty much been in line, although Misty did give me kind of a run for my money. But I beat her first try, but she got through Pikachu, and she got through Oddish, and she got through Pidgey, and Magikarp, for what it's worth. But I don't know if it's going to be a problem. I might have to start catching Pokemon more regularly. Maybe that's how you can grind your way in this game. Not entirely sure. We'll see on that one. Has it really hurt my experience? I don't know yet. I do miss fighting Pokemon in the wild. I miss that a lot, actually. I love that you can see the Pokemon like in the tall grass running around. That's really cool. Kind of the new Dragon Quest style was where you can see the enemies all the time. But at the same time, I wish that I could choose to fight it also. That'd be kind of neat if I could choose whether or not I wanted to fight it or just catch it and play games with it or something. That would be a cool option, but they completely removed that, so no combat outside of battles. Could be a huge deterrence to some people, and I don't blame them. But so far, it hasn't been super bad. Overall, it's been a fun experience. I want to keep playing, so that's a good thing. I wouldn't recommend the ball, although let me talk about the ball a little bit. So the ball is a controller. So you move, it's got a joystick right here, so that's how you're moving. If you click it, that's your A button, so it does your actions. On the top, there's a little button, and that is your cancel, is your B button. And then I think there's options for when you shake it, but I don't think I've gotten anything like that yet. Maybe we can shake my Pikachu's head. Oh, look, I just shook it. I've got it over here. And it says you can set up your game to communicate with Pokemon Go. So I think it does stuff with Pokemon Go. Yeah, that's what it's doing. And, I mean, obviously when you throw it, that's part of the catching mechanic. Are there any other buttons on this guy? No, not really. So that's the controller. Otherwise, you have to use the Joy-Cons. You can't use a Pro Controller. I was almost out when I figured that out. I said, I can't use a Pro Controller. Because I love my Pro Controller. That's what I use every time, except for when I'm just doing portable. I don't know how it would work portable. I guess you have to set it up. Because it definitely uses motion controls when you're trying to catch. I don't know. Have to look into that. Anyway. I recommend it under the pretenses that you like Pokemon Go somewhat and you're not totally adverse to no wild Pokemon fights. That's my big caveat to that. Anyway, I'm Spencer. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.